Syria has been declared by the international community as one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world, and it deserves the attention, and Syrian people do deserve the attention of the international community. For us as Syrians, we will go on and we will do whatever we can to ensure that Syria will have a great future.
The Ba'ath Party continues to be the sole body that nominates and approves appointments and elections, so-called elections of student unions and of labor unions and of other even actors unions, that the Ba'ath Party within its legal structure, it's not an activist approach, but it's more of the legal linking of the National Student Union to the Ba'ath Party, from its formation to its governance, to its operation and functions, to attaching it to social programs within Syria, including what my previous colleague mentioned, the Ministry of Endowments and Religious Affairs. Furthermore, the establishment in 2012 of the Ba'ath Vanguards, or the Ba'ath Brigades, that directly took charge of crimes and suppression, the task of which was suppressing civil protests on campuses and off campuses. On campuses, the National Student Union members were tasked of checking IDs, of picking up IDs of protesters, of attacking and torturing and submitting those names to the intelligence agencies. All official, nothing behind closed doors or under the table. Today, we are witnessing even the National Student Union being used as an arm, as a tool of further normalizing and outreach of the regime. National Student Union has been ordained or declared in Syria as the sole and only representative of students in Syria, but also of Syrian students abroad. I can do whatever I like and I can get away with it. And that's the big message that the regime has been consistently sending, and saying that nothing can be done, and furthering the crushing of those local communities. So I think empowering local communities politically, economically, and socially is the way forward.
The fragility and ineptness of the Syrian regime in providing an internal disaster response and to manage the crisis. The Syria Trust did not provide an effective on-the-ground response, and there is much uncertainty as to how the donations that it received were actually used. The Suwaida case give us hope in terms of building Syria that's not only in terms of post-authoritarian era, but also that we have a political culture that supports transition to democracy. Now, in terms of what the international community can do is, I think, strengthening civil society in Syria, strengthening also diaspora civil societies as well, limiting and delegitimizing the Syria Trust and the Red Crescent, making sure that these sanctions also that are imposed on the Syrian people are also being escaped by the Syrian regimes by through creating these kind of NGOs, which was, as I said, linked directly to Asma al-Assad.
What's new about today's Suwaida protests is that they mark the fifth wave of demonstration in this locality. People in Suwaida suffer from extreme thirst, dire poverty, and many depend on foreign transfers from their scattered migrant members. The state is almost non-functional. Its institutions are not working, and even repairing broken water wells requires a long chain of bribes and interventions with higher authorities that politicize aid and deprive many regions of Syria of essential services. Over the years, the state has turned into a tax collector, providing only the bare minimum services to its people. Yet people are forbidden to express their rejection of this dire reality. There are no main direct roads between Sweda and other Syrian cities, even with neighboring Daraa. This says a lot about the regime's long-standing isolation policy toward the Sweda, developmentally, service-wise, and culturally.
It's about you, it's about Syrian civil society, those who have actually a huge responsibility on the ground, but also those who take the risks, those who actually currently manifest in all parts of the country, to continue precisely to do what we do here in a more maybe comfortable way, to press for political change in your country. So it's a kind of honor to be on your side here, to listen to you.
It's a great, heartwarming to see that this renewed interest in making sure that the Syria does not fade away. It's all about Syrians, it's all about locals. When we talk about Syria, we must not forget that half of the Syrian population has become refugees or internally displaced.